Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video here. Just wanted to speak on the latest news as it pertains to the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Oh boy. And I'll get into a few things that maybe you didn't know about this thing. But first of all, Galactic Star Cruiser cost way more to close than expected. Oh, this is, by the way, this website's Disney Fanatic. I don't know how anyone would... Anyways, I'm not going to judge people, but whatever. Star costs way more to close than expected. Walt Disney World's ambitious endeavor, the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, is set to close its doors in September, marking a costly setback for the entertainment giant. Initially expected to cost around $150 million to shutter, the reality now looms much higher. Let's dive into the latest info about the cost of dismantling this failed experiment. Oh, it failed. Big time. According to recent Q3 earnings, the hit taken by Disney over the Galactic Star Cruiser closing will be way worse than anticipated. It now sits at a staggering $250 million in accelerated depreciation, according to interim CFO Kevin Lansbury. Disney has listed the closure as one of the reasons for lower profit performances from Walt Disney World. Well, yeah. Yeah. The Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, which launched in March 2022, promised guests a unique and immersive two-night Star Wars experience. However, the venture failed to capture the anticipated audience, prompting Disney to decide to cease operations. Now, here's a question for you. Why didn't it capture the anticipated audience? And just in case you guys are wondering, you might hear a little bit of a noise in the background, possibly, with the construction going on next door. So one of the reasons why this thing didn't fly was the cost, right? So $5,000 for, what is it, a 2 nights or 3 night stay at this place? How many people can afford that, honestly? Like, and in today's climate especially, how many people can really blow $5,000 on that? I mean, you just can't. You just cannot do it. Most people cannot do it. So right then and there, you're removing a huge percentage of potential customers by having it cost that much. And you remember there was all those talks about like the $5,000 drink shot or whatever it was. Like, are you kidding me? And of course it was all just nonsense. It was just a regular, drink, cocktail or something like that in a Star Wars, capsule that they opened up and smoke came out, and people are supposed to spend $5,000 on that. Like, I think this was a really, really stupid idea that they thought that they could do this. And they're doing it with not just the hotel in terms of cost, they're doing it with everything, like even toys. They're trying to charge people, $30 for an action figure. Like, people can't spend that much money, man. Like, they just can't. It's insane. And it's changed so much from when I was a kid, and even when they did the re-releases in the 90s and stuff, so much of the stuff was just, it was affordable for everybody, almost everybody at least, and so people could relate, and people could exchange, show each other what they got and different memorabilia and different things, and they just can't anymore because it's just so expensive. And then forget about, the Lego. Like, I mean, people could afford the AT-AT toy that went with the, the 3.5-inch or whatever action figures. It was fairly expensive compared to, but lots of people had it, right? Like, same with, like, the big He-Man castle and stuff like that. It was like, that would be like your main toy at Christmas that you got. But it was affordable. If you want to buy, like, I live in Canada, if I want to buy a AT-AT Lego, it's $1,500. Like, you can buy a beater car for that. Like, $1,500 for a Star Wars toy? And this is where Disney just went absolutely totally off the wall. But I think the main reason the Galactic Star Cruiser failed is that it is all sequel trilogy. It's actually an illustration, in some ways, of just people don't care about the sequel trilogy. Everyone in there's sequel. It's all sequel stuff. It's all Rey and Kylo, and they did nothing of Luke and Han. And maybe that's, there's speculation that George Lucas gets royalties from the OT characters. And if that's the case, that was a stupid negotiating tactic by Disney, because the reality of it is they did not they did not convey a story anywhere near the level of the OT to the fans. And so then you do this Star Cruise and you put all the new characters in, and people aren't really that into the new characters. They're just not. I mean, I bought a Rey action figure from The Force Awakens, so the one movie that people don't totally despise, and it was at the dollar store. I got it for like $2. It's all clearance. And I only bought it just to see if 30 years from now people are like, oh man, nobody bought those and you have one. And it'll have some value because of the fact that it was such a joke and so terrible. That's the only reason I even bought it. But that's literally what's gone on. And so this thing was always going to fail. You had no Luke, you had no Han, you had no Leia, you had no Vader, nothing. None of the awesome characters that people would have wanted to see. And maybe you might have sucked in enough people to spend $5,000 if you'd have done that. Even though I think that's still ridiculous. While we're proud of what we created, we simply didn't resonate with our guests in the way we had hoped, Disney Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro acknowledged during the initial announcement. The project was a significant investment for Disney, with costs exceeding $350 million, though some outlets claim $1 billion. And that's the other thing about a lot of this Disney stuff that's been going on the last couple of years. We don't really know what they're spending. They're not really revealing it. I mean, that's a huge gap, right? It'd be one thing if it was like, oh, costs exceeding $350 million, but some outlets claim $500 million. Okay, well, $150 million, whatever. $1 billion? So who the heck even knows what they spent? And keep in mind, too, they lost $900 million on 4 movies in the last, 12 to 14 months or something like that? So this whole idea that they're just raking in the bucks after buying Star Wars, they're not, or buying Lucasfilm, they're not. Like, they are making huge mistakes. If they're really lucky, they've broken even, but that's not good. That's actually really bad. The lavish hotel aimed to transport guests into the heart of the Star Wars universe, offering interactions with thematic characters and a range of unique activities, but its ridiculously steep price point proved to be problematic, and the venue struggled to attract a wider audience outside of the rich Star Wars fans. Well, yeah. It has not been established what the company plans to do with the building. The CEO, Bob Iger, has reportedly rejected multiple ideas. I wasn't even a huge fan of the way the hotel looked. Like, you look at the rooms and stuff. And I know you want to, like, immerse people in Star Wars, but, like, it'd be like staying in, like, a basement with no windows. Even though those are just TVs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't think it was a good idea in general. Beyond pricing, the Galactic Star Cruiser faced stiff competition from Disney World's other well-established and more affordable hotels and attractions, with guests already shelling out increasing costs for Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. Not many had the funds to tackle this experience. Again, see, they don't want to blame the fact that it was all sequel trilogy nonsense that nobody cared about. They just want to blame the price. And the price is a factor, but there's other things too. Post-pandemic Galaxy 5 Forever, the closure of the high-profile hotel shows a changing perspective in the post-pandemic theme park industry. In an era marked by the rise of streaming services and video games, theme parks must constantly innovate to remain compelling destinations. Despite its audacious attempt to offer a unique adventure, the Galactic Star Cruiser's failure highlights the challenges of standing on an increasingly competitive landscape where visitors more harshly justify their expenses. Disney's $250 million setback for Galactic Star Cruiser closure costs may seem substantial, yet the strategic move allows the company to refocus its efforts and resources on more lucrative ventures. While the Galactic Star Cruiser's journey may end, guests can still explore the Star Wars world by visiting Galaxy's Edge. But even in Galaxy's Edge, you're not going to see Han. You're going to see the Millennium Falcon, but you're not. It's all Rey, Kylo Ren, Hux. They have zero OT anything other than the Millennium Falcon, and like none of the characters, because I think that's where the royalties go to George is on the characters. That's why Luke is only in The Force Awakens for 1 minute. And that's the side of this whole thing with Disney Star Wars that's just such a shame, is that this is exactly it. It's all about money. And when you make it all about money, the art takes the hit and the fans take the hit. And because they don't want to pay George, Luke isn't in The Force Awakens. Luke isn't even on the poster for The Force Awakens. Literally, the poster boy of Star Wars isn't on the poster for the 7th film. I mean, that's really what this comes down to, guys. And these people, it's all about money, and that's ruined everything. It's ruined the entire thing. And, when they first bought Star Wars, if they had done their due diligence and done good stories with the sequels and incorporated the OT cast better and given them a proper send off, then it would have been fine, and they would, pay George's royalties, move on. You'd be making way more money, but they didn't do that. And now they're, Rey movie. It's not going to happen. Nobody wants to see a Rey movie. Nobody wants to see Rey do a Jedi Order that was supposed to be Luke's. Nobody wants that. So, anyway, all that to say, guys, you tell me what you think in the comment section. Have any of you actually been to this thing? I've seen lots of videos of it. Doesn't look that great. It doesn't look like $5,000 to have your kids sleeping in crappy bunk beds and you're in a double bed. You tell me what you think. Would you ever spend that kind of money? Would you spend $5,000 on a shot just because it said it was Star Wars? Are you interested in nothing but sequel characters all day, or would you prefer it if they'd done OT characters? Let me know in the comment section. And thanks for watching this video. Check out any other Star Wars content, including my sequels reimagined. And please like and subscribe if you do like this content, and have a good day.